Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all guests and fellow Toastmasters. Everyone, please come on camera. Today is an Independence Day and it's a holiday, and I want all of you to come on camera. So, welcome to the meeting number 9 of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. I am Pranav Pothan, your SAA for today. The meeting will be blocked for 2 hours, and you are expected to stay for the entire duration. Before we start the meeting, I want to highlight some key points. Your video should be on and your audio should be off. Audio should be on only when you are called to speak or need to speak. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, Toastmasters International does not put any restrictions on speaking. However, at the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club, we request all speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. Also, urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we as a club practice diversity and inclusion in letter and spirit, hence ensure that there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertones which create hostility and discomfort for the members or guests. Let me now call upon the presiding officer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Karthik. Toastmaster Karthik Venugopal, he is working as a full stack developer in Travelopia and he's a tech trainer, a history and movie buff. He loves storytelling and listening to music. He always tries to be the best version of himself. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that was our Toastmaster Pranav Pothan, our Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Can we have a big round of applause for him? A very good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure to be presiding over the 9th meeting of Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. I would like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of all guests to our meeting and would request some of the guests to share your introduction so that we can know who are you and from which club or are you a guest. So I would like to ask Sunil Gill to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. Good evening to all. My name is Sunil. I'm currently joining from Haryana, Rohtak, and I'm teacher educator, and I'm guest for the session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil. Give a big round of applause to Sunil, and thank you for joining today's session. Hope you have a lot of takeaways and learnings today in this. And do we have any other guests who want to introduce themselves? Okay, we have Mani K, Chainika Dubey. Would you want
good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
This is Kumar from HSR Toastmasters, Bangalore.
Thank you, Mani Kumar, for introducing yourself. So, dear guests and visiting Toastmasters, we appreciate you joining us. Due to paucity of time, we won't have an opportunity to have each of you introduce yourself, but we would love to know you. I would urge to use the chat function to share a brief introduction of yours. We will ask you to share your feedback at the end of the meeting. Also, please join Gabby's guest WhatsApp group by scanning the QR code on our Zoom background. And the guest link also will be sent in the chat. For the benefit of guests, I would want to reiterate that the Toastmasters is a home to people who wish to face their fear of public speaking. Not only that, if you love to connect and network with others, if you want to hone your leadership skills, Toastmasters is the place for you. It's a safe place to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We are proud to carry forward this 100 years old legacy, which is spanned over 100 plus countries. Now it's time to welcome one of our new members who has chosen Gabby's Toastmasters Club to learn and grow with every one of us. And that is Toastmaster Sanjit V. Nayak. Give a big round of applause to our new member, Toastmaster Sanjit V. Nayak.
Thank you so much. This is Sanjit here. Thanks for
hi,
the welcome.
Sanjit. How are you feeling today?
Feeling really great. So I'm just looking forward something for the next 2 hours. So I'm definitely excited.
Sure. Yeah, you will learn a lot, and we are all here to learn. So thank you for choosing Gabby's Toastmasters Club. So we will all learn and grow together. And today we have an interesting theme, one of my favorite theme. So before moving on towards the today's theme, let me introduce the Toastmaster of the day. So Toastmaster of the day for today is Toastmaster Devasish Parmar. He is an alumni from Bhawanipur College, Calcutta, professionally a chartered accountant by profession, and is currently working at EY. His love for Bengali food is deeply rooted in his upbringing, and he loves spending his holidays at his nanny's place. So Toastmaster Devashish Parmar has come up with an interesting theme today, and that is liberation through laughter. So how do you liberate through laughter? You can liberate through laughter whenever you're feeling stressed, whenever you feel like there are no ways around me, then you can just laugh. But how do you feel? How do you think that liberation through laughter can help you to make your stress go? So if people are happy, they smile. If people are more happy, they laugh. If people are still more happy, they roll on floor and laugh. So to know more about today's theme, I'll hand over the mic to Toastmaster of the day, that is Devashish Parmar. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer Karthik. Well, good evening to everyone. I'm Devashish Parmar and your Toastmaster for the day. A very happy Independence Day to each and everyone. Well, our Presiding Officer has already introduced the theme, so let's take it forward. So as the theme is liberation through laughter. So if I laugh, you must be wondering why I'm laughing without any reason. But these days, don't you think that we need a reason? We rely on some funny stories, some comedy show just to laugh. When was the last time you had laughed without a reason? Did you, without a reason, did you laugh? Anyone? I see.
No.
No?
No, I do laugh without any reason. Always.
But very recently, I mean, from my personal experience, I had personally experienced that when I saw my daughter, and she was kind of speaking in some gibberish language, which I also don't understand. And she was laughing at her own words. And that's when I realized that I don't also need a reason to laugh for any particular reason. I can laugh without a reason also. So I have a small game for you. And I would be very happy to have you all on the camera. Without camera, this game would be not so interesting. Please come on camera, each of you. Guests, evaluators, speakers, please come. Especially speaker, you will be kind of liberated from this kind of going through which, before the speaking, you will be going through a lot of things. So it will help you. Can we have more on camera? Thank you. So let's say there is an activity called, have you heard about milkshake laughter? No? Assume that you are holding a glass of 2 glass in your hands and consider it as a lassi, okay? So you need to repeat after I've done. So let's say it goes like this. Can you do? Unmute yourself and do it.
Could you please demo it again, Devash?
Yeah, can you demo?
Yeah. Okay, let me take out my background so that you can see my hands and gesture properly. Now is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
So assume you have hold a glass, 2 glass in your hands. Visualize that, and you have to pour it. While pouring in each glass, you need to make a sound. Ah.
Okay.
Come on, let's do it, everybody.
I think everybody should unmute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
we
it.
should. A.
Okay. I have one more interesting laughter, and it is called credit card laughter. So imagine you have got a credit card bill, and there is a person next to you, and you will do like this. So let's do it. Let's try. Let's don't be shy and liberate yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for participating. And Toastmaster Shilpi Tiwari has come on camera. Now you want to try something here? You are on mute.
I said I can do. I'm enjoying. I have my baby on my lap. That's why I couldn't do it.
Okay. No worries.
I'm enjoying it.
We'll try one more laughter in the middle of the session. But
Sure.
let's, in the interest of the time, let's get into our main business. So for the benefit of the guest, I want to introduce how the Toastmaster meeting is conducted. So every Toastmaster meeting is divided into 3 sections. The first section is called a prepared speech. It's a formal speech where each speaker prepares based on the pathway and the project that he has undertaken. And the second section is called table topic section, where every speaker will be given a random topic to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. So details will be shared by the table topic master later on. And the third and most important section is called evaluation, which is kind of heart of every Toastmaster club, where not only the speaker learns from the evaluation, but everyone present here learns from the evaluation that has been given. And to lead the team of Evaluator, we have distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan. So just to give an intro, just a moment. Distinguished Toastmaster is a banker by profession and a storyteller by passion. He believes that Toastmaster is a platform that gives voice to your voice. Very rightly said. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan, to explain your role and your Taggle team's role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what's a Toastmasters meeting if there is no evaluation? That is true for pretty much everything that we do in life, but in Toastmasters, we take it a little seriously. And therefore, today, to do justice to everyone's time here, we will have, along with me, who as the general evaluator of today's meeting will be keeping a keen eye out for the proceedings of what happens during the meeting, and will share my report towards the end of the meeting when my turn comes up. However, in order to keep me in check and keep all of us in check, we have our first role player who's going to assist in the right conduct of today's meeting, and that is going to be our timer. Our timer comes to us from the Emerald Isles of Ceylon, or Sri Lanka as we know it. In his day job, he deals with water and electricity, 2 of the most vital components that we need in our lives. He also dabbles in multiple other things, ranging from badminton to charity to gardening and a lot of other things. Pretty much like each and every one of us, multifaceted personality. And today he's our timer. So Mr. Timer, could you please quickly reveal what your role is going to be? Gihan?
Yeah. I'm audible, no?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the timer today, I'm going to time each prepared speech, table topic speech, and evaluations. And also, I will alert each speaker on the time rising green, yellow, and red cards for prepared speeches, the allocated time will be 5 to 7 minutes. When the time is reached to 5 minutes, I will show green card, then 6 minute yellow card, and 7th minute red card. For the table topic speakers, the allocated time will be 1 to 2 minutes. At first minute, I will show green card. First minute and 30 second, I will show yellow card. And at the second minute, I will show red card. And for the evaluations, the allocated time will be 2 to 3 minutes. Then at the second minute, I will show green card. Second minute and 30 second, I will show yellow card. And at the third minute, I will show red card. And all the speakers and evaluators will have 30 seconds grace period. Then I will give my report when called upon during the meeting. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gihan. That was comprehensive. Next up, we have someone that's going to listen to the meeting very carefully to enable us to ensure that we speak properly without needlessly pausing or using words and phrases which we should not be. That is the role of the R counter, which she will explain in a little more detail. To introduce our R counter, she is a lifelong learner who believes that learning is the key to development. She has been in this field for the past 16 years, and facilitating behavioral programs is what she's passionate about. She is a relatively new Toastmaster. She's been in this program from June, and she was a charter member of another club and is a dual member of Gabby's Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Tessy, could you please talk to us about what your role entails?
Good evening, General Evaluator Sudarshan, and good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch, CRUTCH, or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, such as including, and, well, but, so, you know. I will listen for filler sounds, including I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, when called upon, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, sir. General Evaluator Sudarshan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tessy. Next up, we have someone that's going to embellish the use of the English language with her pithy observations on how we use the language, where could we improve, and what stood out in her opinion. That is the role of the grammarian. She is yet another science geek, a biotechnologist by training, who's turned into a psychology professional and is currently pursuing her postgraduate diploma in training and development. That saying all of that takes my breath away. I'm sure her days are filled with a lot of learning and a lot of knowledge, which she's going to impart to all of us. But guess what? In the midst of all of this, she loves to make friends and give surprises to those friends. Let's welcome up on stage Toastmaster Manvi as our grammarian. Over to you, Manvi.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests present here. Today, I am playing the role of the grammarian, and being the grammarian of the meeting, I'll be noting down good usages, not so good usages that happens throughout the meeting. Along with that, I'll even be sharing the word of the day with you all. And the word of the day is giggle. It means to laugh in a silly way that you can't control because you are amused or nervous. Examples can be whenever I am with my best friend, we both giggle looking at each other. Requesting all those who use the word of the day and the audience, whenever you hear the word of the day, please give a virtual or a physical thumbs up to appreciate people. I'll be sharing my report in the journal evaluation session. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And last but definitely not the least is someone that is going to keep a keen ear out for exactly what happens during the meeting. And not just that, he will come back and ask you questions as well. This is a role titled listener, and it's going to be held by Karthik Venugopal, who in his day job is a full stack developer. If you have travel glitches, he's the person whose throat you should catch because he works for Travelopia. But like me, he is a history buff and apparently loves movies as well. Let's hear from Karthik as to what is he going to do in today's meeting. Karthik, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator DTM Sudarshan. So I'm the listener for today. If expressing ourselves is very important, if you feel it is very important, it is also important to keenly listen to all speakers and keenly listen to everyone to be a great learner. And let us all remember that a great listener can be always a great speaker. So with that, I'll be keeping a keen ear on every speaker and listen to them. And at the end, I'll come with questions and just do a quick check on how attentive you were during the whole meeting. And I'll be asking the questions once called upon by the General Evaluator at the end of the meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. It's no giggling matter to evaluate a Toastmasters meeting. Me and my team promise to ensure that you all giggle when we try and deliver our evaluations. With that, I would like to hand the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day to carry the proceedings further. Over to you, Toastmaster Devasish.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan, for this introduction and your to your Taggle team also. So let's move into our first section of the meeting, prepared speech. And for that, I would like to call upon our first evaluator to highlight the project objectives of the speaker. Our first evaluator is Toastmaster Dhwani. She is a VPM of Gabbys TMC and the area director of 31D. She's a double triple crown winner and on her journey to complete her second path. She is a personality development coach by profession, an artist from heart, and a menstrual educator by choice. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Dhwani.
Thank you so much. Very soon I will be, I'm still not distinguished. But yes, thank you so much. And to my target speaker, Toastmaster Jitender, he is attempting his level 1 project 2 of dynamic leadership. The project is writing a speech with purpose. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the timing will be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to my target speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
So the first speaker is Jitender, Toastmaster Jitender. He is a travel enthusiast who is interested in different culture. He is a proficient horse rider and who believes in the circle of influence, always focused on things which he can control. He's passionate about running. It's like meditation to him. The title of first speaker is Law by Chance. Jitender Rulaniya, Law by Chance, Jitender Rulaniya. Best of luck for your speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Devesh. I hope I am audible and visible. Okay, thank you. So, how many of you have faced the wrath of traffic? Can you raise your hands? How many times someone abused you because you don't know the traffic rules or you are stressed to follow? Raise your hands. Yeah, I can understand that. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. I was in deep slumber after Wednesday night party. All of a sudden, my manager started calling me and his number appeared on my mobile phone. Somehow I managed to answer his call. Before I could even greet him, he told Jitender, you need to facilitate the meeting at 9:30 today. And I was like, what excuse I should give? The moment he hanged up the phone and he told with a note that you need to also give me the status of that workshop as well. And I was still in hangover mood. Somehow I pushed myself out of my bed and got ready for the office. I thought if I start by 8 o'clock, then definitely I can reach 9:30 to office. My office from my home is only 13 kilometers, but this was not an easy task because I need to cross the hurdle of Kunda, Thali Junction, Marathali, Yamlur, HAL, Sujandan Signal, and they all are notoriously famous for their traffic congestion. Somehow I started before 8 and I managed to cross 8:15 Kundala Junction. And I was quite relieved because I was ahead of time, what I have planned during that time in my mind. So idea of reaching on time pushed me to drive as fast as possible. I was no less than Formula One race driver who was driving thick and thin of corners to navigate and overtake everyone whoever comes in my way. The moment I reached Marthali Bridge, I was stuck up. I spent 25 minutes and slowly the stress started building up on my face. And I was thinking of the consequences, not attending that meeting. Slowly, I reached Yamlur signal. The moment red light turned green and I pushed the accelerator and tried to recover the time which I lost as fast as possible. However, all of a sudden, from nowhere, Red Swift came in front of me and applied sudden brakes. And after that, I just stopped my Scorpio somehow. And without locking a horn with the danger, which was in red color waiting for me. And I felt, sense of pride. And I was in awe of my own driving skill. But this moment was very short-lived. All of a sudden, I heard boom, loud noise, and I was completely shattered. And I didn't know what to do. What happened? Slowly, I realized that there were two cars who bashed me from behind. And I got down from the car immediately, looked at back of my car. Nothing happened, only few scratches. I thought, there's nothing, let me go and attend the meeting. And immediately, my immune system, either I should flight or fight. I thought, let me try to flight from this situation. But however, you cannot escape from this Bangalore traffic. So after some time, few hundred meters, the Indica driver was ahead of me, and then Alto, which was behind. So I cannot escape from that lane because those were the two cars which were badly damaged. So slowly I got down from the car and asked, and the conversation went into argument. And one of the person yelled at me, Jitender, let me call my brother, he's in police. And I was helpless and clueless. I didn't know what to do next. And I patiently waited alone. After waiting for 1 hour, I told, okay, let's go to nearest traffic police station and we will do what he says. And after waiting for 1 hour, no one turned up. So we went to a police station. Traffic police inspector arrived and we narrated our ordeal. And then afterwards, hearing our situation, he told, Jitender, do you want any compensation? And I was flabbergasted with that. What? Compensation? But then I was thinking, nothing happened to my car. Why I need compensation? Then inspector told, okay, you need to maintain the distance, well ahead of your car. So if you don't maintain, then it is not your problem. It's the person who is driving behind. They have to have certain distance, and it is their responsibility not to hit the car ahead of them. With that, I was completely relieved, thinking that yes, no, I don't have to pay any compensation to them. And he was still investigating those two people. What happened? With that, the bottom line is sometimes it should be good to aware of the law, because sometimes that turn to a blessing in disguise. So with that, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jitender, for this lovely speech. And of course, not only you, every one of us deal with this Bangalore traffic. And hats off to you for keeping yourself in the flight mode rather than in fight mode while somebody banged your car from the back. Great. Now let's move towards the second speaker, and for that I would like to invite Toastmaster Anupama Venugopal. She is a corporate lawyer, having her own firm in Bangalore. She's also authored a book on a legal subject, but for a common people. She is the immediate past president of CII, Indian Women Network, Karnataka chapter. She is also a corporate trainer for the last decade in a legal and diversity subject. As a Toastmaster, she was a past president of LA 1924 and has completed her LBA in leadership and ACG in communication. Toastmaster Anupama Venugopal, please highlight the objectives of the speaker number 2. Over to you.
Thank you, Devasish, and good evening, everybody. Today, I will be evaluating Pranav Pothan, who is attempting P1 and sorry for this, I had written down. He's attempting L1P3. And it's on the purpose of the project for the members to practice vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. The speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes, and he is supposed to bring in both voice modulation as well as body language into speech, and all the very best to the speaker. Thank you.
So our second speaker is Toastmaster Pranav Pothan. He is working as an analyst in fintech company in Bangalore, looking for opportunities to speak and take roles and develop public speaking and leadership skills through Toastmaster. And the title of the speech is Stop Complaining. Toastmaster Pranav Pothan, Stop Complaining, Pranav Pothan. Over to you, and best of luck for the speech.
Finally, it's vacation time. Do you know how much excited I am? And where I am going? To Singapore. But do you know which is the most interesting fact about this whole trip? It is absolutely free. Years ago, my father and mom used to go for these trips, incentive trips which he used to get as a part of his business. But today, I am going with my wife. This was my excitedness few months back when I got to know that I was going for this trip. That very moment, I called my wife and told about this news. She was really excited. Then I said to her, darling, let's make some plans for this trip. First of all, let's recharge the SIM for around 3,000 rupees so that we can get free Wi-Fi. Pranav, do you want to recharge net for 7 days when you will be having free Wi-Fi in the hotel? The most important thing for me was recharging the net. But I did not want to disappoint her. So I did not recharge my mobile data. So after reaching the place, Changi Airport, it was 6 a.m. in the morning. I was feeling really fresh in the airport. But the moment I took my phone, I got the shocker of my life. My SIM was not working. I could not talk to my parents. I was feeling really disappointed. I started complaining. Didn't I tell you that I wanted to recharge the SIM? Now see, I am not able to talk to my parents. My whole mood got spoiled. From the airport to the hotel, I started complaining a lot. Although the guide was explaining about the scenery in Singapore, I was not listening to that. Anyway, both of us reached the hotel in Singapore. The guide announced, everyone, today the first destination we are going is the Singapore flyer. But I was not excited because the moment I heard that, I was actually falling asleep from the traveling I had done throughout the night. But anyway, I just wanted to visit Singapore. So everyone together, we went to that place, Singapore Flyer. Now, the Singapore Flyer is an observatory from where we could see the whole of the city. But the moment we reached there, do you know what happened? It started raining. The whole plan was spoiled. The guide said, travelers, we are sorry because the observatory cannot function when it is raining because there may be a risk of lightning. Let us do some shopping and come after some time. Already, I was in a bad mood that my phone was not working. And by the time the guide announced it, my whole mood was gone. I told to my wife, is this why we came for this trip? Are we going to listen to their orders? Why can't we go at our own will? Anyway, we all went for shopping. I was sulking throughout the shopping. By the time we reached the flyer, it was evening. And believe me, we couldn't see the city. I was really disappointed that I had lost the opportunity to actually enjoy this picnic. That was day one of our trip. After coming back, throughout the night, I was sulking. But there was hope in me that next day was going to be great. Because do you know what the next day destination was? It was the Universal Studios. Now, Universal Studios is the place where you get to see all the superhero powers, the Avengers, the Batman. Who wouldn't want to go there? So I got really excited about that. So the next day, all of us went to the Universal Studios. But when I reached there, I lost all the excitement which I had when I had come to see the place. You know why? It was fully crowded. The crowd there was for around 3 to 4 hours for a single ride, which was for around 5 to 10 minutes. Imagine, could you ever sit in a queue, stand in a queue for around 3-4 hours to just enjoy a ride for 2 to 3 minutes? I was feeling really frustrated about this. But anyway, I just enjoyed the ride, but there were only 2 rides which I could go on that day. When I returned back to the hotel that day, I was feeling completely blackout. My legs were paining. So I told to my wife, darling, tomorrow onwards, I am not coming anywhere wherever they take me. Let alone any great place, Madam Tussauds, or any place if they take me, I won't come back. Now, the next day, all the people went for a great trip. But I was thinking that I could sit in the hotel room and enjoy all the food there, having fun, taking a lot of rest. That day, around the evening time, I started getting really bored. And then I got the shock of my life. You know what happened? People started posting their pictures on the Facebook and WhatsApp. At that moment, I realized I had not taken a single picture of myself. What was the use of this trip if I had not taken a single picture of myself? But after that day, the next day, there was no chance to enjoy anymore because that was the final day. The final day when we would be going. I felt really guilty about this. I told to my wife this. So she said, Pranav, this trip is for free. You should have understood that this is something you should have taken maximum opportunity to complete the trip rather than complaining every time. That moment, I understood one thing. I was a complaint boy throughout the trip. I never realized that this trip was something that would go down my memory and would be something that actually contributed to one of the most memorable trips in my life. Instead, I complained. Toastmasters, stop complaining, grab the opportunity and go with it. Never ever regret about it. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. It was lovely hearing, and we could totally relate to your story because quite often we also keep on complaining. And no matter what, I mean, if we start our day or start our journey with a complaining mode, the things will not move according to the plan. So we'll take note of, you should take note from the Pranav's speech. So now let's move forward, and for that we have our third evaluator, Toastmaster Neha Jain. She is a finance professional working with Cardinal Health International India, a yoga practitioner, a trainer, love traveling, trekking, and playing badminton. So over to you, Toastmaster Neha Jain, and please highlight the objective of the speaker. Over to you.
Am I audible, visible?
Yes.
So it is said that it is impossible to live without failing at something unless you've lived so cautiously that you might as well have not lived at all, in which case you have failed anyways. And in this journey of failing and learning, we have mentors, and our mentors keep changing with time. And that's exactly what my target speaker is going to speak about today. The purpose of her project is to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring and also highlight various aspects of her experience as a protege. All the very best to my target speaker. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neha Jain, for highlighting the objectives and the title. Your third speaker is Toastmaster Sudharma Perera. She is from Sri Lanka and she holds a dual degree, MBA and a chartered accountant. She is interested in learning new things, getting to know new people, and traveling to new places. The title of her speech is Someone for Anyone. Toastmaster Sudharma Perera, Someone for Anyone, Toastmaster Sudharma Perera. Best of luck for your speech.
Jay Lauren once said, if you cannot see where are you going, please ask from someone who has been there before. He is the mentor. If you ask from me before 2019, who is your mentor? My answer would be, who is mentor? Before 2018, I didn't have much knowledge about mentors. When I got a call from my Janaki, I got to know about mentor. Janaki one day called me, Sudharma, would you like to attend CSC Lanka mentorship program? What will I get? You will get 6 CPD hours, as well as you will get guidance from senior chartered accountant, Mr. Gunasekar. Okay, I will attend. I attended that mentorship program for 2 months. Every Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I got a lot of answers for my career problems. Most important advices are use common sense in office as well as in home. Use English as much as possible in office and work life. And also be creative, think different. Those are the advices from my mentor. As well as there is a very important advice I got. That is, pass burden to your boss. When you have a critical problem, don't suffer yourself. Tell your boss the problem. He will manage it. First, he will scold you. Second, he will manage it. That was the best advice I got. In 2023, April 1st, I joined Toastmasters. I have a lot of problems, lot of questions about speech writing, what are the pathways, who are the role players, and all. When I am drafting my second speech, our VP Education, Toastmaster Minoli Bhattacharya, guided me very well. She advises me to type the speech in Word document. I just used to write it in my book. I counted my word count 830. She advised me to reduce it to 700. For 5 to 7 minute speeches, it should be maximum 700. Then she advises me to make my introduction. It should be have a flow. Then I read it and deliver the speech successfully. When I am doing my third speech, I met my second mentor, Toastmaster Ashok Sivalingam. He is a very good evaluator as well as a well-experienced Toastmaster. He advised me how to practice the speeches. First, I have to write the speech and get familiar with my speech by reading it 4 to 5 times. Then practice, practice, practice. He advised me. Today also, I am following it. When I am in a problem, whether I take the role of VP Education in Sunday Love Speakers Forum or not, he advised me to take the role and nominate myself by myself, because he told me it is your self-confidence that will show to us others. Then I participated that election. As well as he gave me 2 advices. First one, do the speeches continuously. Second one, connect with other clubs. That is why I am doing speeches in level 2 project 3 as well as I am in Gabbys, because I wanted to connect with other clubs as per my mentor's advice. Within this all periods, I have another mentor, Sara Marsu, Toastmaster Sara Marsu, our area director as well as our past president. She guided me, motivated me, encouraged me all the times when I have problems, when I have in dilemma to do this thing and that thing in Toastmasters. She advised me, although she has a busy life with personal and work life. In Gabbys, I found my amazing mentor, Toastmaster Pranav Pothan. At our first discussion, we plan our speeches and how to complete my path and all. Although I am not remembering my dates of the speeches, he is the one remembering it and reminding me. Every time he is sending me messages of reminding my practicing and delivering speeches and how to do the practicing and all. I am blessed to him as my mentor. Thanks, Gabbys, for giving him as my mentor. In 2023 June, I attended a Toastmaster workshop, Someone for Anyone. Someone is the mentor, anyone is the mentee. I got to know some commitments should be done by mentor and mentee. What are the commitments I got to know is, mentor should have use his time selflessly for mentee, as well as should be a best listener and constructive feedback and sharing knowledge, sharing network and all. The mentee also should have characteristics: willingness to be open, willingness to trust, willingness to develop, and sharing ideas. Those are the characteristics I got to know. Within these 4 months, who I am today is because of my all mentors who encouraged me, motivated me, and guided me to go in this path. So, my dear Toastmasters, do you also have that characteristics as a mentor or mentee? Are you a good mentor? Are you a good mentee? Please think about it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudharma. Indeed, it's very important to have a mentor in our personal life as well as for the professional life, because as a person we don't know what the mentor is able to see, because he has already achieved certain things. So he can clearly guide where we are going wrong. Right. So with this, it's end of prepared speech section. And before we go ahead with the second section, I would like to call timer in order to check whether any of the speaker is disqualified.
All the speakers qualified within the time limit.
Great,
And
great.
And one reminder: as per agenda, we are behind 5 minutes now. Over to you.
Thanks very much. The poll has been launched, so please give a poll. Meanwhile, before we head to a table topic section, I would like to invite any of the guests who would like to share the moment of laugh, or what is that moment when they feel like they are in a right zone to laugh. Can I have any guest? Sunil, would you like to go?
Sure. I was recalling during my fellowship days, I and one of my friend were going to the school in one of the village of Rajasthan. There was lots of mud and sandy part in that area. I was driving and we slipped off and we both fall down, and actually he was little worried and crying, but I was standing and laughing at myself and the moment ki yes, finally we fell. So I think a little bit weird, but I was laughing at that time.
Thank you very much, Sunil, for sharing your laughter event. Anyone of the member who would like to share any funny incident in the recent past they have come across?
Sure, TM Devashish, Toastmaster Devashish, sorry.
Thank you.
Well, today's speech, all of the speeches were pretty good. The most exciting was Pranav's speech today. While he was narrating all the disastrous things which were happening to him or which happened to him, I giggled through the speech. Sorry to say, you had a bad time. You had a bad experience, but I enjoyed the story, the speech. It was fabulous. While this is, absolutely, it happens to everybody, but the way he expressed the entire story around the Singapore trip, I really enjoyed my time over here. Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. It was a great experience listening to your speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tessy, for sharing your thoughts. In the interest of time, we'll go with the next section, and it's a table topic section. And for that, I would like to invite our table topic master. She is, just one second. She's attempting her active listening project, and I would like to call upon Evaluator to share her project objective. Evaluator TM Sanjay Jain.
Yeah. Thank you, Devashish. Monica is attempting level 3 project 2 from presentation mastery. The purpose of the project is for members to demonstrate her ability to listen to what others say. Over to you, Devashish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay Jain. So our table topic master, Monica Ashwini, she is an MBA. She works as a management consultant at Accenture Strategy. She is a bibliophile and a gardener enthusiast, a fitness freak, and a baker. So over to you, table topic master, Madam Monica Ashwini. Yeah.
Thank you, TMOD Devashish. Hello everyone, this is Monica Ashwini, your TTM for today, giggling at you. So I'm going to give you a topic to speak on, and the time limit for that topic to speak on is 1 to 2 minutes. After you cross 1 minute, a green card will be shown. At 1.5 minutes, a yellow card will be shown, and after 2 minutes, a red card will be shown by the timer, Gihan. So I'm going to pick one of you, and I will request you to put on your thoughts forward. So can I see a show of hands, whoever wants to speak? And I might encourage guests to speak, to come ahead. So I see guest Sunil raising his hand. And the topic that I'm going to give you is any particular movie or series that you think can create a laughter riot. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monica, for the topic. Any movie which make me giggle throughout. Recently, I watched Well Done, Abba. That was the movie that made me giggle throughout the 2.5 hours. And I really like the sense of humor that all the characters brought to the movie through their action, through their body language, and story in itself. We can say how a well can be lost, which was once stabilized and built in the village. And the main character who was a driver to one of the businessmen, and I was mesmerized, engaged his boss in the storytelling session, and he got back his job. So that was very inspiring and made me giggle, and I learned a lot from the movie. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. So I must say these movies like Well Done Abba, they are very relatable. And such Hindi movies, they connect with you in a very organic manner. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. May I request another speaker to come ahead? Please raise your hands. Please feel free to raise your hands. I think I did see a raise of hand by Sanjay. Yes. So my topic for you is, as soap is to the body, laughter is to the soul. As soap is to the body, laughter is to the soul. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Monica, for giving a wonderful topic. We have to remove our stress. How we can remove our stress is by making our mind relax. That can be done only by laughter. Why? Because we nowadays in the materialistic world, we are more competitive. We see our neighbors buying so many things. So we behind that we also have to have that type of thing or something like that, or our relatives. So we every time start competing in personally or social or professionally, so that stress level increases. So to de-stress it, we have to do laughing like a soap which removes us the dust from the body, cleans our body and makes our skin shine. Like that, the laughter will remove the stress level from our soul and our mind, and which will relax our mind. So that nowadays doctors have also recommending people to do yoga and do laughter therapy for removing the stress. There is no medicine other than laughter, which will remove lot of stress and lot of things from our mind and keep our soul relaxed and think about more positivity. When you laugh, you become more positive in life. So that it is a very great thing that our sages have invented this thing and have given to us, so that we have to follow that regularly so that we can enjoy the time. Thank you very much. Over to Monica.
Thank you, TM Sanjay. you very rightly said that in this modern world, we are very much consumed by materialistic things. And things like yoga, they give you, they are like a stress buster. So I'm completely in for yoga, a yay for yoga. Thank you, TM Sanjay, for sharing your thoughts. I see TM Money raising his hand. So Money, my topic for you is Earth laughs in flowers. The earth laughs in flowers. Please go ahead.
Excuse me, can you please confirm if I'm loud and clear? And
yes,
can you
yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. Can you please repeat topic once again?
The earth, this earth, the planet, laughs in flowers.
The earth
laughs in flowers.
The earth laughs in flowers.
Yes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today being Independence Day, I hope if you're in Bangalore, if you've got a chance or ever visited to a park called Lal Bagh. It's a beautiful garden having all the colors of flowers. Right from the colors of the Indian flag. And probably we couldn't visualize, okay, there is a flower with this color. Example, the purple color flower, or probably very light yellow color flower, the green color flower. There are different types of flowers are being conducted like as a kind of flower exhibition on this special day, Independence Day. In my past, I have visited to this Lal Bagh garden and I could really reminisce the memories which I had when I'm walking in between the flower garden. The smell, the aroma of it was completely blown away, took off my mind. I felt that I was in a different world. As I keep walking, not only just the pathways, but there were different shades or different types of flowers were made, like in terms of humans, in terms of animals, and in terms of globes, the worlds. All these flowers were made in such a way that people can really see the pictures of that. People can really visualize what is happening. And there was a lake front. Along with that, it was all these flower plants were there. After visiting complete garden, I just tried to close my eyes and observe what I have seen in a single clipping. Then I realized the earth which we are in has a beautiful collection of flowers. When we see each and every flower, it's like a kind of laughter which earth is giving to all of us. When we see those flowers, we will definitely come out of whatever the stress we are in. So I definitely agree with the topic given by Table Topics Master. The earth has a plenty of laughs in flowers. Over to you.
Thank you, TM Money. So I completely resonate with the fact that how you synchronize the colors of the Indian national flag with the colors present in flowers. So that was a wonderful synchronization, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. Lal Bagh Park, I think every time I visit there, I see such a good collection of colorful flowers. It's mesmerizing for me as well. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. May I ask another speaker to come ahead? I see TM Meeta. So my topic for you is laughter is the foundation of reconciliation. Laughter is the foundation of reconciliation. May I ask TM Meeta to please come on camera if possible?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not. If I'll on my video, I can't even speak. There's a disturbance in the problem of network.
No
issue.
problem. No problem. Please go ahead.
Okay. Happy Independence Day and happy evening to one and all. So the laughter is I forgot the topic.
I'll repeat the topic. Laughter is the foundation of reconciliation.
Okay. So laughter. So we all are busy in the whole day schedule. We don't have time to laugh and see each other. Either at home, we are busy with our technology or gadgets. Everyone is busy with their mobiles. So I feel that laughter gives us a lot of energy and stress buster. So laughter, even nowadays, we go in the morning for laughter class. Even in the garden, there are a lot of things where they have kept laughter. People gathers over there in the garden under the tree, and they starts laughing. So laughter is a medicine also. It gives us a lot of mental like stress buster. So that is the thing, like laughter gives all the thing. Laughter is the best medicine. Instead of taking medicine, we can take a laughter as a medicine. So I feel that laughter gives a lot of this one. It's a foundation for any other medicine than any to cure any diseases. Laughter is the best medicine. And laughter, even we laugh even in the like with the kids. If you have seen like small baby, just nothing but they'll be giggling, they'll be laughing, and they are smiling. Whether they know the faces, even they will smile and laugh. So that is only the thing. Like laughter is the best. According to me, laughter is the foundation of this. Thank you. Back to the table topic, master.
Thank you, TM Neeta. So I'm really mesmerized by the fact how you said that laughter can act as a foundation of reconciliation with our own mind and soul. So as you suggested, laughter is the best medicine so that your mind and soul are in peace. So I think that's another paradigm to it, where you connected the foundation of reconciliation to your own mind and soul. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. May I ask another speaker to come ahead? I think TM Sanjeet. TM Sanjeet?
Yeah. Hi, Monica.
Hi. So my topic for you is humor is laughing at what you haven't got when you ought to have it. Humor is laughing at what you haven't got when you ought to have it. Over to you.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. So it's all about humor when we talk about. So I'll just start with something like, okay, we all live in a stressful environment. So we go to work and as everyone mentioned, traffic, and we all end up into a lot of stressful situations. So when you all go, okay, and you just call your friend and you just want to meet them, you just don't want to visit any special place or anything. It's just like you just want to meet them. You just meet, and then what happens is just the topic comes out, and then when friends meet, that's where all the humor comes out. You try to pull each other's leg, and that's where all the laughter starts, and you directly understand that there is no stress. Okay, so whatever it was there in your mind, it is all gone. Your mind is very clear, right? So that's one of the humorous thing which leads to the laughter, where I would not say that the like-minded people. So when different kind of friends comes, they all meet. They come with a different kind of mindsets, and when they sit together and pull each other's leg and put some thoughts, or they tell what happened in the days. Okay, I fought with someone. I did this. Like manager, I said these things, right? And when you listen to them, you laugh, right? And in a different humor way, you put that same line in a different way, and then you try to say, oh yes, even this happened to me. So that's what I say, like where humor adds to the laughter, and it throws away the stress of your life. So that's all from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, TM Sanjeev. And you very rightly said that, the best personality positive that one can have is when you laugh at your own self. That is something I think that makes you funny, and that makes other people laugh. And then you are called as having a good sense of humor as well. And when you laugh at your friends for no reason at all, and they do the same to you. So that's it. That is something I could resonate with. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. May I ask TM Dev Parashar to come ahead? Do we have
table topic master? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can hear you well. And my topic for you is, anytime you want to laugh, you talk to whom? Anytime you want to laugh, you talk to whom? Please go ahead.
Well, it's a wonderful topic. Every time we want to laugh, we just imagine something interesting or funny. So tell me, how many of you laugh whenever you see a meme presented on any screen? Give a raise of hand if you laugh after seeing any meme. Okay, I can see many people are raising hands. Well, that's correct. Every time you laugh, you just imagine anything that gives you a brief of joy, which makes you laugh a lot. Well, for me, when I want to laugh, I simply imagine the Tom and Jerry cartoon because it was very funny and it is still going on with the newer versions. And whenever I start imagining it, I start laughing because to release stress, the best medicine is laugh. You laugh, you won't be taking stress at that time, and to make it more comfortable, you can better go with your best friend because your best friend will do some nonsense things that make you laugh anytime. And just go there and say to him, I am sad. And he will do like, okay, let's dance together and do this, do that, because of which you will start laughing. So all you need for laughter is something to imagine. Well, that's it. And over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, TM Dev. And very rightly said that you want to laugh around your friends. You want to laugh with them. You want to laugh at them. And very rightly said that Tom and Jerry used to be my favorite cartoon as well when I look into retrospect. So thank you for sharing your thoughts, TM Dev. May I request TM Jyoti to come forward for our next table topic? Yes. So my topic for you is, even the gods love jokes. Even the gods love jokes.
Very interesting. Table topics master, even the gods love jokes. Why won't they love the joke? Look at the people he's created. And often, don't you think we are a complete joke? And you were talking about laughter. I would like to state, if you look at laughter as being an acronym, we always say it liberates and it unwinds through genuine humor. But I always believe there's a lot of difference between laugh, smile, and a joke. Joke for me, as much as what you think, from my humble opinion, is I can't be a joke to somebody. For me, joke can also be rather insulting. But for me, smile, if I can leave somebody with a smile, if I can put a smile on somebody's face, that is a long-term effect. The gods will smile upon us, is what I believe in. I don't see the timer, so I'm going to keep looking at it. That being said, what is important? Will the gods laugh? Along with that, I think all of us will be laughing. I think a joke is very interesting for a short period of time. But if I want to leave an everlasting memory, an imprint on somebody, I would love to leave a smile on somebody's face and move on, because they should remember me or anybody who puts that smile much after they have met them. Go back home, think about it. Will I bring the smile on somebody's face, or will I be a joke? Will I look at the gods and ask, what a joke of my life did you make, good Lord? I'm not going to be bringing in religion here, but nonetheless, is it laugh, smile, or am I a joke? All this I'm saying just for a joke. Thank you. Is my time up? I don't see the timer. If there is more time, I'm willing to go ahead. I can keep giving you a joke or two. Can somebody tell me, please? I don't see the timer. Can the
you
TM...
reach red, so you can stop.
Okay, thank you. I don't see the timer. Thank you very much, General Evaluator.
Thank you, TM Jyoti. And you very rightly said that God laughs through the people he has created. So I have a 7-month-old daughter, and she literally giggles and laughs at no reason at all. So I'm sure God is laughing through her. That is what I would like to believe. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. And I think we are done on time. So may I ask TMOD Devasish to please take over?
Yes, and thank you, table topic madam Monica, for this lovely take on table topic session. Now, I would like to, before we get into the poll, I would like to check from timer whether everyone are on time, have qualified. Timer, whether everyone has qualified in this table topic.
Yeah, everyone within the allocated time, but few members are below timing. That is okay, no?
Which member who has below time?
Sunil 1 minute and 16 seconds. And
which one?
Sunil first one.
Below time.
Below time. I mean below grace period.
How much was it? 1 minute 16, is it?
Yeah.
That is okay.
Okay,
Yeah, anything above 1 minute is okay.
Okay, then everyone okay.
So please vote for the table topic speaker. And meanwhile, let's everybody come on the camera, and we may play one more game before we get into the another session. Please come on camera, everybody. Okay, so I just want to relate one of the table topic which the table topic master was taking, which was laughter can act as a reconciliation. So let's take a situation where you have laughter, argument laughter. So how will you do your argument laughter? So it goes like this, and you have to do it after I do it. Yeah. So please repeat after me, but you have to unmute yourself so that we can hear you laughing. Okay, maybe it's thank you for participating. Maybe it's silly, but it's helpful. You know, our body, there are two things about laughter. Our body doesn't differentiate between the real laughter and fake laughter. So it's better to practice laughter in your life to make it stress-free. And with this, let's move on to the next section, which is a very important section. And for this, I would like to call upon again distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan, and I would like to sorry, just 1 second. Yeah, I would like to call upon stage again Jain and Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Devashish. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I don't know about you, but I have learned laughter is serious business in today's meeting. And you know what? There are times when people come up to you and say you laugh too loudly or your laughter was too shrill, etc. But usually no one ever tells you how to laugh. Unlike that, in Toastmasters meetings, we have people who come up on stage with the express purpose of not just putting a giggle and a smile on someone's face, but telling them that you can giggle a little more. Let me see your teeth when you smile, etc. If that intrigues you, the next segment is going to be of great interest to all of you. It is the evaluation session, and we begin with speech evaluations. To do the honors for the first speaker, I will call upon stage Toastmaster Dhwani to come and deliver her evaluation of our first speaker. Toastmaster Dhwani, over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. And to my target speaker, Toastmaster Jitender. I must say, the moment I got to hear about your title, Law by Chance, I was actually thinking, are you going to talk about, all the law things? for that matter. But no, it took another toll. And you were talking about the traffic, and you went to Bangalore traffic, and you were explaining your story about how you had that fight or flight situation. And I must say, for the purpose of you to deliver this speech today was met. Thank you for doing that. Now, coming to the topic selection, I loved how you curated your content with such a simple thing about traffic, and how you, such a simple situation that you turn into a story. And I'm sure everybody sitting over here connected with you on that aspect. I liked how you had the audience interaction from the very beginning of starting your speech. A great takedown on that. I liked how you were using these certain sound. For example, you said boom, and everybody was like, okay. So these sound effects helps us to create a much great impact, and I liked how you were doing that as well. I also liked on how you were using your hand gesture from time to time so that you could have a good connectivity with the audience. Now, coming to the part where you can take your speech to another level. Even though you had good content, but the transitioning in the speech was very vague, for that matter. At one moment, suddenly I was seeing that, okay, from you being in the traffic to suddenly you going to the police station. So if you can create a base for the audience in that way, it will help us to be with you and connect with you more, rather than being confused as to what actually happened and all of a sudden what changed. And coming to the part where about your conclusion, for that matter, if you could work a bit more on your conclusion, as I felt there was a very abrupt ending and you had a really great topic. You could have gone a bit more, and you could have also given us certain tips on what you could have done better and what worked for you, and how can we, in the traffic, how can we calm ourselves down when we are in the situation of fight or flight. Overall, I liked your speech, liked how you connected with the audience, good content, and I liked the effects that you gave in the speech along with your body language. To work on is transitioning your speech in a manner that is more, which creates a flow and conclusion, and you're good to go. Thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani. If I may add my 2 bits, this was a story which lent itself to a lot of character building. It lent itself to a lot of vocal variety. When we are in traffic, we are accosted with so much noise that you can paint a word picture if you so choose to. For example, as I was driving and music on my car, in my car was playing, the blaring of the horns, the noise of the rickshaws, and people crossing all over the place, all of it created a whole lot of chaos in my mind, and which resulted in me neglecting to see the car in front of me. What that does is it helps the audience visualize where you are. And as Dhwani mentioned, the end was extremely abrupt. There was still a good 1.5 minutes left for you to speak, and you could have elaborated the end with specifics of what you learned and what you want us to do. Remember, every speech is an opportunity to educate as much as it is to entertain, and use that to your advantage. Every speech, like every story, will have a once upon a time at the beginning and happily ever after at the end. And that arc will ensure your message reaches the audience effectively. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next evaluator to evaluate speaker number 2, which is going to be Toastmaster Anupama. So without further ado, let me invite on stage Toastmaster Anupama to take charge and take the evaluation forward. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudarshan, and good evening to my target speaker. When I thought I'll start with something to find a flaw in your speech, I realized that there was little that I can do, and I had to take the advice that you gave in your speech, and that is to stop complaining. So it was a wonderful speech, especially the way you started. There was so much of confidence. There was so much of life in what you were saying. There was a lot of, the hand gesture movements. And I think the purpose of the speech was to bring in body language as well as voice modulation. Now, the best way to bring in body language is actually to bring in conversations, and you take up the roles of the conversation, and that kind of gives you the movement. Especially in a virtual setting, it's very difficult to show body language, right? When you're actually in a physical meeting, we can move in the stage, and here you have a very limited screen space for you to do it. And I think that part which came to your body language, you were excellent. There was looking at you, even being a sergeant at arms, I've seen that you're used to doing something like this, and you did it very confidently. So your energy was good. You had a lot of confidence in what you were doing. When it comes to voice modulation, and I think that's a very, very important point that everyone needs to note, especially when you're doing this project. The idea of bringing in voice modulation is to bring in your emotion into the speech. Now, you brought in actually a lot of emotional points in your speech. For example, when you said, the whole plan failed, right? You made it rather like a sentence to say whole plan failed. It could have been the whole plan failed. That emotion, the voice going up, coming down, while throughout the speech, it was either extremely energetic or you were flat. I could not see that when you were either angry or disappointed, that differentiation had to come. So there's several places. And again, when you spoke about, I lost all the excitement. You just said, I lost all the excitement. You could have thought of saying, I lost all the excitement. So that would have made the listener feel what you actually went through. And I think that's where voice modulation plays a very big role. If I come to certain other things that I want to just point out to you, do you know what? And then we could have given just a few seconds pause, because you asked a question. Either you were asking the question because you didn't want an answer, or you were just, asked it in the process of it. So a small pause because you've asked a question and then gone on with the answer would have done a lot of good. So wonderful speech, if you ask me, very well taken, very well, a lot of energy. The things you brought into the speech also was very interesting. It was a lovely topic to talk about. The only thing that I would say that you need to work on and improve yourself would be to work on your voice modulation, and more importantly, to work on, how you can make it better. Otherwise, a fantastic speech. My suggestion would be, if you can, look at redoing the speech just to bring the better voice modulation.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anupama. To share what I observed of the speech, Toastmaster Pranav, you are a natural storyteller. You have the gift. You need to incorporate in your storytelling what actually happened. And that will come if you listen to Anupama's evaluation and incorporate all of the suggestions. Because your story has a beautiful arc, and it is something of importance to all of us. This can potentially be your contest humorous speech if you so choose to make it, because the speech lends itself to a lot of humor, and that can come through your face with your body and your voice. You will need to work on that. However, I would disagree with the evaluator. I don't think you missed the objective, though in terms of what she said, it is important, but the objectives in general have been met. Let's move on to the next evaluation now, which is evaluator number 3. To do the honors, I will call upon stage Toastmaster Neha Jain to come and deliver evaluation for speaker number 3. Toastmaster Neha, the stage is all yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, but you're not visible.
Okay. A very pleasant evening to everyone gathered here, and my special greetings to my target speaker, Toastmaster Sudharma. Now, I personally love listening to mentorship speeches or anything related, because of the fact that there is immense gratitude that comes out of such speeches. So many people, rather mentors that you want to thank. And Toastmaster Sudharma, it beautifully came out in your speech today. Someone for anyone, a perfect title. I absolutely loved the timeline and chronology of your speech. It sort of took us through one event after the other that happened in your life with aspect to mentorship and your mentors. Now, with all this good stuff being said, I don't think you'd go back happy and satisfied, will you? We are all here hungry to learn, grow, and groom as better speakers. So I just have 3 suggestions for you today. The first one being, whenever you speak and whenever you want to emphasize on something extremely important, take a pause. For example, when you said, when I joined Gabbys, Toastmaster Pranav was my mentor. So instead of telling it in one simple sentence, take a pause. Why? Because it creates a lot of emphasis when you take a pause. Number 2 being, with all the mentors that you mentioned in your speech, how they helped, I was still waiting for the bigger picture. How did it impact Sudharma's life? What was the change that was brought in your life through all these mentors that helped you in your Toastmasters journey or outside? So that bit could be more elaborative is what I felt. And third teeny tiny suggestion would be probably you can put your camera angle at a better position so that you are clearly visible and your hand gestures are clearly visible to the audience. Somewhere I felt that it was going out of the frame in a couple of instances here and there. But that being said, all in all, a beautifully curated speech. Yes, you brought out the right element of gratitude, and all the very best for your upcoming speeches. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Neha. I think she's captured the essence of what this speech was all about. Gratitude to evaluators was coming through very clearly. Yet again, my only recommendation would be, if this is narrated in a story arc, it enables audience to understand exactly what transpired and how the evaluator has impacted, or sorry, the mentor has impacted your life. While there was a lot of gratitude, there could have been a little more elaboration on how did this relationship come about and how does it continue to impact, and what can we as listeners do to go identify such mentors, etc. But overall, this was a speech apt for the project that it required to be delivered, and it also communicated your gratitude towards your mentor, which was, I believe, a much bigger purpose that you carried for this speech. So thank you very much for that. Let's now call upon stage the next evaluator who is going to evaluate the table topic master performance in today's meeting, and that is Toastmaster Sanjay Jain. Toastmaster Sanjay, kindly take the stage and deliver your evaluation.
Yeah. Thank you, Sudarshan. Monica, congratulations for completing this project, as you had achieved the objective. You had given a very simple topic, but with a very powerful message. It was very well connecting to the theme of today's theme. You were active listener. You could very well connect. You could very well summarize what the speaker had spoken in your own words, and again rephrase it and inform the audience that what the speaker has spoken. It was a very well structured in a short period of time, which is a very good art of doing this thing. Your topics were very simple, like soap to a body, laughter to a soul. Anytime you want to laugh, you talk to whom. These topics were very simple, but giving a very powerful message. So I liked the topics, and I think all of us also liked it, and it was very connecting to the theme of today's theme. What I would like you to improve is you could have spoken little slowly and with a because speakers, whoever were coming on the stage were asking you to repeat the topic again. So if you could have spoken a little slow and with giving some pauses in between, then it would have made it more, your table topic would have been more powerful and things like that. Overall, you played a very important role. Your topics were very simple and relevant. I congratulate you for taking this role and playing it very well. Thank you very much. Over to
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
sir.
Toastmaster Sanjay. Before I proceed any further, I would like to request the timer to please read out the time taken by all the 4 evaluators. Yes, Gihan, go ahead.
Toastmaster Dhwani taken 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Toastmaster Anupama 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Toastmaster Neha Jain 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Toastmaster Sanjay Jain 1 minute and 36 seconds.
So all are qualified, right?
No, Toastmaster Anupama was exceeding the timing.
Okay.
3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, so she's over by 3 seconds. So other than Toastmaster Anupama, all the rest are qualified. The Zoom master can launch the polls. Great, thank you so much. I would now like to call upon our counter, Toastmaster Jessie, to please share her counter's report.
Thank you, sir, General Evaluator. My name is Tessy.
Tessy, sorry, my mistake. Very sorry, apologies.
Not an issue. Thank you so much. From a guest to the 76th member of Gabbys, I'm delighted to be a part of the session today, and I'm elated to hear everyone. Great work done. Congratulations to each one of you. This again is a milestone which has crossed on this meeting today. Before I give you the report, I just want to tell everyone that do not be scared. I usually be scared when the R counter comes up with the report. Oh my God, how many R's and R's and I's and so's have I said? And this person is going to give me a number, and it is a little embarrassing. Let me tell you, do not be embarrassed. It's just a learning phase. And I will also give you some tips to ensure that it'll help you ensure that in the next meeting or in the next session, you're able to avoid some of these filler words and also the filler sounds. The first tip for all of us, and let me tell you one good thing about the R's. The filler words and the filler sounds are really good for all of us. Why? Because it helps the brain to think, process, while we would want to prepare a sentence and speak to people. But at the same time, while the brain is thinking, our mouth is not able to keep quiet, and we start uttering some words which really is not making sense. We have different applications, digital applications, which can help you understand how many R's and filler words and filler sounds are being said in one of your sessions or in one of your meetings. You can do that. But will that solve the issue? No. The second way you could try, there are many of them. Today, I will only share 2 points. The second one would be, I saw a lot of speakers today taking pauses. Let me give one example. General Evaluator Sudarshan took a lot of pauses to bring up beautiful words. Construction of sentences were amazing. And let me tell you, I was absolutely not so delighted to find no such filler words and filler sounds, but I got him at the end, of course. So please ensure that you pause every time. One thing I have learned is when I am out of words or when I'm searching for words, I just shut down for a second or two while I come up with words. You could try that. Now, without wasting another further time, let me quickly come up with the report for today. So concluding on the filler sounds and the filler words, Toastmaster Pranav Pothan, 5+ and above. Toastmaster Neha Jain, 10+ on the filler sounds and the filler words. Devasish Parmar had 50+ filler sounds and filler words. General Evaluator Sudarshan had only less than a couple on the filler words. Toastmaster Gihan had 5+ filler words and filler sounds. Toastmaster Karthik Jain, couple of them in filler sounds and filler words. We have Jitender Rulaniya at 10+. Sudharma, Toastmaster Sudharma at just couple of them. Toastmaster Monica at 15+. Toastmaster Dhwani, none. Toastmaster Anupama, 10+. Toastmaster Sanjay Jain at 30+. Toastmaster Manvi, hardly any. Toastmaster Dhwani at 15+. Toastmaster Sunil at 5+. Toastmaster Mani at 0. Toastmaster Meeta at 5+. Toastmaster Sanjeet at 20+. Toastmaster Dev Parashar at couple of them, and Toastmaster Jyoti, none. Couple of the words which were frequently used were because, I, repetition of I think, that, why, because, actually, for that matter, like. These are the words which are continuously used, especially when we are not prepared to do so. All the best for the next session and the speech. Over to General Evaluator for today.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tessy. See, I got that right. Well done. That was truly comprehensive. And what I must commend you on is the fact that you have been listening intently and listening with purpose. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you want an object lesson on how to listen, Toastmaster Tessy is the person to go to. Kindly reach out and learn the art of listening. You will benefit in your life, not just in Toastmasters. Let's move on to the next role player, yet another account taker of today's meeting, which is our grammarian. This is a role that I personally enjoy a lot, gives an opportunity to learn and exercise your speaking muscle in the right way. Let's listen and understand how did we wrangle, tangle, and mangle the English language today from our grammarian, Toastmaster Manvi. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Journal Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests present here. I, being the grammarian of the meeting, noted down some good usages, not so good usages, and along with that, I even noted down the word of the day counts. So, coming to the good usages, Toastmaster Devashish, being the TMOD, used liberate, milkshake, laughter, bibliophile. Toastmaster Journal Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan has few of them like emerald eyes, vital component, dwell, impart, embellish, a keen ear, tricky, blaring of horns, abrupt, transpired, and neglecting. Coming to the speakers, Toastmaster Jitender used few of them that you can see on screen. Toastmaster Pranav used observatory, shocker, spoiled. Toastmaster Sudharma used a quote that in the starting, it was, if you can't see where you are going, ask someone who has been there. Along with that, she used the word dilemma. Coming to the table topic speaker, guest Sunil used stabilized, giggling, monotonous. Toastmaster Sanjay used materialistic. Soul and mind sages. Toastmaster Mani used few of them. Toastmaster used Meeta used a phrase. Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine. Apologies for the typo. Toastmaster Sanjeev used humor, leg pulling. Toastmaster Jyoti used unwild imprint, everlasting. Coming to some not so good usages, someone said, you are hold a glass. The correct usage should be, you are holding a glass. The other one is someone used told to my wife. It should be told my wife. I realized that this sentence was said in past. So it should be I realized that. The past form of realize. Next was reached to there. It should be reached there. She advises me. Again, this sentence was in past. So it should be she advised me. He is remembering me. It should be he is reminding instead of remembering. The other not so good usage was should have used. It was said in present form, so it should be should use. Coming to some good usages, Toastmaster Dhwani, Toastmaster Anupama, and Toastmaster Neha Jain use couple of good usages in their evaluations that you can see on screen. Now coming to the word of the day. The word of the day was giggle. And Toastmasters who used the word of the day were distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan. He used it 4 times. Toastmaster Tessy used it once. Toastmaster Meeta used it once. Toastmaster Sunil used it twice. Toastmaster Monica used it twice. That was all from my side, being the grammarian of the meeting. Over to the journal evaluator.
Thank you very much. It takes a lot of doing, fellow Toastmasters and guests, to not just listen carefully, but to create a visual aid in the form of a presentation. Hats off to Toastmaster Manvi. Kudos to your ability to multitask. That was extremely comprehensive, very useful, and something that if shared with the club will benefit in the long run. Yet again demonstrates how well the education program in this club is running. So before I call upon the next evaluator, I would like to ask a question. Do we do the listener now or do we do the listener after the general evaluation? How do we do it generally in this club?
So we do it now. We call upon the listener.
Then over to you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan. So I was a listener for today and I keenly listened to many of the speakers, and here I am with the questions in form of quiz. And would like to ask everybody to participate. Let's see who listened well. So the first question is, which are the types of laughter Devasish introduced?
Milkshake laughter.
Okay, there were total three.
I remember one. I was busy with my report.
Argumentative laughter, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, 2.
Credit
card.
Credit card laughter.
Yeah, so it was milkshake laughter, argument laughter, and credit card laughter. So I think most of you listened it correctly. Thank you. Now the next question is, name the company of the car Jitender owns. Toastmaster Jitender owns. Exactly. At what time did Toastmaster Pranav reach Changi Airport?
6 in the morning.
Exactly. Who was that?
Tessy.
Oh, super. So in which year did Toastmaster Sudharma join Toastmasters?
2018.
Okay, 2018. Which month? She even mentioned the month.
No idea.
Right.
Anyone want to guess?
July.
June, July, something somewhere.
Someone said July.
June, July, somewhere. She joined.
It's April. Okay, so those were the questions which I had for today. I think many of them listened keenly. Kudos to you, and also reminding you one more thing, that a great listener can always be a great speaker. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. I truly endorse that statement. A great listener is usually always a great speaker as well. Not for nothing do they say still waters run deep and empty vessels make the most noise. A person who doesn't listen makes a lot of noise but is very incoherent. So let's look at whether I am going to be coherent or incoherent in my general evaluation. I promise I will keep it short and crisp because I do understand it's been a long day and a lot of festivities are still awaiting a lot of you, given that it's a holiday in India. So let's look at what this meeting was all about. Those of you that have ever taken a cruise know that the cruise ship stands about 10 stories tall above the ocean. But what most of you don't know is it is also about 20 stories deep under the ocean. This meeting was exactly like that. The preparations for this meeting began in all earnest a long while ago, I was co-opted into this role purely by accident, but this is a club that I've been looking at for a while, and I grabbed the opportunity with both my hands. And I must say, I wasn't disappointed coming here today. Very crisply conducted meeting. It started bang on time. And even before it started, the excitement was getting created when the head count was being counted to ensure that all the critical role players are in the meeting. Toastmaster Gihan, I know you're bored, but you don't need to show me the red just yet. And that's when I realized that this meeting is going to be as taut as a well-stretched rubber band. And exactly what it was. The Sergeant at Arms was crisp, opened the meeting without too much of dilly-dallying, and that ensured that the momentum for the meeting was set correctly. The one thing that I did miss was the Sergeant at Arms reading out the specificity of what is the acceptable code of conduct. Maybe I missed it because I was still driving at that point in time. If it was done, apologies to the Sergeant at Arms, but that's something that a Sergeant at Arms should always repeat. Then came the presiding officer. The presiding officer again kept it short, sweet, appropriate to the point, and guest introductions were done as a part of the presiding officer's speech. What I would like to see is, if there are a lot of guests and it's going to be time consuming, instead of telling them that fill out the guest form or we will get in touch with you, etc., which kind of alienates the rest of them who don't get a chance to introduce themselves, I would recommend that the VP membership of the club gets in touch with them on chat and starts introducing them on chat instead of giving them an opportunity to speak. That way, they feel included. And in my experience, a lot of members do join clubs if they are introduced well, and they get a feeling of camaraderie in an alien place because they are already coming with some trepidation there. Then came our Toastmaster of the day with a theme which is definitely not unique, but what is unique is Devashish's take on this theme. I've never heard these kind of terms, milkshake laughter and credit card laughter. I'm in the cards business, and I've never heard any customer laughing after accruing interest on interest for decades. And he's made that into an element of laughter, which I've already shared with all my product managers. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have a hearty laugh thanks to Devashish. That is what a good Toastmaster of the day. A good Toastmaster of the day will make you think beyond what is the obvious. And that's exactly what Devashish did. Every element of his presentation included this element of how laughter is intertwined in everything. And if those of you think laughter is frivolous, remember that even within your tears, there is laughter. Because if I don't see you, whether you're crying or laughing, it is exactly the same. The noise is not very different. And that is where this theme is very important. And on a day like this, the theme is appropriate. And therefore, kudos to Devashish once again for choosing a theme and delivering it with aplomb. It was interwoven well right up until the prepared speakers ended their segment. And the three speakers have been evaluated well. All I would like to say to the three speakers is, you are granted an opportunity to share a story. However, the story has to be within the parameters of the path that you have chosen. Today, what I noticed was neither the evaluators nor the TMOD introduced the path. Because even if you are doing the same speech, which is, let's say, a level 1 project 3, it is the same across all paths. But when you read through the objectives, you will realize that each and every path tells you to do the same speech differently. And that's where your learning comes. If you're doing dynamic leadership versus innovative planning versus presentation mastery, the same speech will have nuances which are different. My humble request, always state what the path is, and to the speakers, always go through your speech guidelines. It is a cornucopia of information which you can use and which will embellish your speech and take it to the next level. Then came our table topic session. What I particularly enjoyed was the table topics were related to the theme of the day, and therefore connected back to laughter in some form, shape, or manner. What I would recommend to the table topic master is ideally the table topics should be in the form of a question, and question should not be more than 5 words. There were quite a few topics today which were 7 to 10 words, which creates a lot of complication for novice speakers. And we could see that with a lot of speakers today, where they tended to repeat what they were trying to say. That being said, as a project, I thought it was done very well, though my recommendation again would be to keep it crisp, keep it in the form of a question so that the speaker has to perforce take a position for or against the topic. And that helps the speaker come up with a little more innovative way of speaking. Then came the 3 evaluators. First off, I want to ask the 3 evaluators a question. Did you by any chance see a bullseye painted on your speaker's foreheads? All 3 of them came and said, my target speaker. Remember that they are just speakers. They are not your targets to shoot down. So don't use this term target speaker ever. They are speakers that have been assigned to you for the day. So you could say my designated speaker if you really want to say so. Never ever say target speaker, because that is a tad demeaning and it is a crutch. In fact, I would have appreciated if the grammarian identified that and said, this is a crutch that people use. Second thing, when you are an evaluator, you are evaluating for the benefit of the audience, and you are sharing your point of view with all of us. Never ever talk on behalf of the audience. So never say we felt, we saw, we heard, because you don't know what I saw or what I heard. Don't talk on my behalf. Don't talk on anyone's behalf. Talk from your perspective. Second is, the moment you use you are then conversing with that individual speaker. Instead of that, you could say our speaker, the speaker, my designated speaker did this and I felt that. That way, the communication is to the generic audience and not just to that individual. The other aspect that I noticed in all 3 evaluations was the conclusion. All 3 of them almost concluded by saying, look forward to hearing your future speeches. That's a cop-out evaluation. That's an evaluation which is surely not going to be remembered by most people. Try and end your evaluation on a high. And that high needs to be above the speaker. I saw in you a potential storyteller. I saw in you a passionate communicator. I saw in you something that I'm going to take back. That leaves the speaker on a high, wanting to come back. Last but not least, one of the evaluators started the reading of the objectives with a lengthy sentence which went something like, there was something to talk about, ensure you, when there was a lot of words used by Neha before introducing the speaker. As an evaluator, your task is to tell us what is the path, what is the speech objective, how much is the time to be taken, and leave the stage. The speaker has already got butterflies in their stomach. Do not add to that by making the speaker wait for longer than required. That being said, the evaluations in itself were of use, can be much better if the evaluators practice this art of active evaluations. Overall, I thought the meeting was crisply done. It was a meeting keeping in standards of a club that has stood in the top 7 in the world. And there is an opportunity for this club to go places. The Taggle team, particularly, I would like to comment on, not just because they are a part of my core team, but each of them has exemplified today what it means to take a role and do justice to it. Whether it was our grammarian who created a presentation on the fly, whether it was Tessy who depicted what active listening truly means, or our listener who came up with those easy to answer questions, but that takes a lot of effort because you are accosted with a lot of information, and out of that, you have to pick and choose a few things which the audience will remember. Remember, it's not an objective to prove how good he was and how inferior we were as listeners. This is an objective to elevate all of us to say, you could do better. And therefore, the Taggle team in particular stands out to me today in terms of the way they have conducted themselves during today's meeting. All in all, I would like to thank the club for having me over and giving me this opportunity to be a general evaluator. With this, I would like to conclude my general evaluation and hand the stage back to the presiding officer to announce the results and close the meeting. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Can we have a big round of applause for General Evaluator and the team? And let's have a poll for the auxiliary role, best evaluator, and I think role taker is already done.
So only the auxiliary role taker polling is left, which I have launched. So that
Okay.
will be done. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. So in the interest of time, I would like to just say a few things before I hand over to the presiding officer. That laughter, how it will liberate you. I mean, first thing is that it will help you to set a right mood. And if you are in right mood, every situation you can tackle, be it your office, personal or social life. And second, if you laugh more, you will get 25% more oxygen for you to function efficiently. So laugh more. And it's only not in good time you should laugh. Even in the bad time, you should laugh so that you sail through smoothly. With this, I would like to hand over the mic to presiding officer in the interest of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Devasish Parmar, and thank you for liberating us today with your laughter giggles, which you shared with us. Thank you so much. I mean, I didn't know that laughter can be of so many types, and I today learned from you. Thank you so much. Give a big round of applause to Toastmaster of the day, Devasish Parmar, for doing a great job. Thank you, thank you. And also would like to thank our general evaluator for coming up with a nice, pertinent general evaluation. Thank you so much for accepting the role, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan. Thank you so much. So now it's time for the feedback session. So would like to ask few guests here. I see Ashwini. Could you please share your feedback on how you felt, how you experienced this meeting? Ashwini, are you there? Okay. I think let's call upon Mani Kumar. Mani Kumar, you there? Okay. So we see Diana.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Mani. Yeah, please go on.
Yes.
How
I
was
really
your
enjoyed the
experience?
meeting about the way of MC, TMOD session, all the speeches and evaluations. I'm glad I could able to join this meeting today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mani, for joining our session for this meeting. And also, I really loved your table topic speech. Thank you so much. Yes. Now we have one more esteemed guest.
Dina has written something. Can you just please read out?
Yeah, I'll read out. Let me check. Okay. So one of our most enthusiastic guests to our club, and she is Diana, and she has written, "Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I say all you about of me this club meeting improve. I know giggle speak better with disability. Giggle are powerful inside the Toastmasters club as Independence Day. Giggle and I feel the independence stronger. Giggle improvements in speech. Very good giggle. Someday I like to be a DTM secretary leadership giggle. Toastmaster of the day, Diana. A great speech. I wish you to be a DTM secretary of leadership giggle. Thank you, Diana. So you want to say something, Diana? You can unmute and speak. You want to say something? It was a really wonderful speech, Diana. Thank you for that. Now it's time for the results. So the best auxiliary role taker goes to Toastmaster Tessy. Give a big round of applause to her for letting us know the importance of listening. Thank you so much. Even though I was the listener, but she actually proved to be both listener and as well as our counter. Thank you so much. I'll add those all notes which you said in my next listener role. So the next is the best evaluator. Any guesses at least now?
Dhwani.
Okay. Okay, so the best evaluator for today is Madam President of Gabby's Online Toastmasters Club, Neha Jain. Give a big round of applause
Well
to
done,
Toastmaster
well done.
Neha. Okay, so now the best role taker. We had the best role takers. We had general evaluator. We had Toastmaster of the day. We had table topic master. Who was it? So it's none other than distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan Sheshadari,
Yay,
who
well
has won the
done.
best role taker award. Thank you so
Brilliant.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Brilliant,
so much,
brilliant.
DTM Sudarshan. We were elated to have you in our club. Thank you so much. Now,
Thank you.
next is the best table topic speaker. At least you can guess it. I gave a hint just before.
Money.
Yes, it's Mani Kumar, the best table topic speaker. Congratulations, Mani. So now the next is the final and the most awaiting award, that is the best prepared speaker. And the best prepared speaker goes to Toastmaster Pranav for complaining so much and realizing that it is not good complaining. Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav, for coming up with a nice speech. And this was all about today's meeting, the liberation through laughter. And I wish everyone a happy Independence Day. And let's not forget, this Thursday is something very important going to happen in Gabby's Toastmasters Club. With joining hands with Sri Lankan Toastmasters clubs, Sri Lankan Toastmasters, we are coming up with a mammoth of marathon. 17 speakers, 17 evaluators, and 6 role takers. It is going to be a mammoth of learning on Thursday. And we are starting at 5 p.m. and the session would end at 10 p.m. So be ready for this mammoth of marathon, speech marathon, where you will have mammoth of learning. See you on Thursday, 5 p.m. Thank you so much for attending this session. Thank you all. See you on Thursday.
Oh.
See you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye.